Roy Nogaltree, KWTX. Coach, how important is this to have these first 2 games here in Waco?
It's always important to play on your home floor. And we've been very fortunate through the years to do well during the season and receive a high bid from the NCAA where we can host. And the fans have always shown up, and I anticipate another good weekend of women's basketball here in Waco in the Farrell Center.
Matt Roberts, Fox 44. Coach, just with how you've built up this program, seeing what Julie has done with ACU, what have you seen from this program as she continues to try and build it?
First of all, I love that woman. She stands for all the things I stand for, and she works hard. She's a family woman. Her kids play hard for her. She's at a school that I hope appreciates what she represents and what those kids represent, and I'm just looking forward to hugging her neck.
Up here. Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Kim, you talked about having it at home. Tried it at one point and have tried it at different times playing off-site. You like this? You feel like the game needs this, at least right now?
I know why they tried it on the neutral courts. You would like to be like it is for the men. But it doesn't do the women's game any good to be televised and there's no one in the stands. And in order for there to be people in the stands, you usually have to go to the top seeds and those fans will show up. I know that it was discussed that that's such a home court advantage. I get it. But our game is different than the men's, and you can't compare neutral courts and expect fans to travel thousands of miles or even go thousands of miles away and just the general women's basketball fans show up. It's been proven that, there's too many empty gyms, too many empty seats.
Kim, what did ACU do well to get here to win their Southland tournament and everything? What do you see from them on film?
Well, they shot a lot of threes and made them. They'll play kind of a 4-out, 1-in motion type of offense. They've played man. I'm sure with the size difference between us and them, we anticipate seeing some zone. They just played well and shot it well.
Kim, when you go into games like this, you're in the NCAA tournament, but you're a prohibitive favorite at home. What is your message to your players, and how do you take an approach to a game like this?
Well, it's the first of hopefully 6. I break it down that way. This is the last part of our season, and I ask them, how many games do you have to win to win a national championship? How many do you have to win to get to a Final Four? None of that matters if you don't win the next one. And we talk about the next game. We approach every game, and the kids can tell you this. We don't miss a scouting report. We spend the same amount of time in the film room. And the only thing that's different right now, I wish that we didn't have such a long break. I wish that, the men got it right. They get out, they get done, they start playing. It's just a long break right here, and you get antsy and anxious, and you have to feel motivational moments through the course of the long week before you actually play your first NCAA game.
Please remember to state your name and affiliation.
Chad
Yeah,
Conan.
because I don't know these guys. I don't know any of them.
Chad Conan, Waco Tribune-Herald. 2 questions, Kim. First, when you talk about them shooting a lot of threes and making a lot of threes, does it kind of give you some confidence that you guys are pretty battle-tested in defending that?
When the season's over, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to just look and go, who shot the most against us? Because the numbers are astronomical. Teams that don't even shoot that many threes shoot a lot of threes against us. We prepare for that. I think our field goal percentage defense from the 3 is much better than it used to be because we see it so much now. So it won't be anything we haven't seen, Chad.
And then the long break that you talked about, that's been a routine for a little while now. Do you get used to it? Do you get kind of a schedule in your mind of the way things need to happen during that break?
Well, you're used to it. You know, you got to give them some time off, you know, to get their legs back under them. But you can't go in there and do the scouting report on the first day or the second day. You work on yourself. You work on yourself those first few days, and then toward the end of the week, you start working on who you play next. We don't even look past the first opponent. It's not like we give a scouting report today on Abilene Christian, and then tomorrow we'll give one on North Carolina and then one on Cal. That's too much. That's too much. Focus on the next game. We will watch the earlier game, and then we will get to work. If we beat Abilene Christian, we'll get to work on our next opponent. Now, the coaches are in the film room all the time. One is assigned this team, one is assigned this team, then we flip-flop, and then we talk. So the coaches are ready. But you don't throw all that at a team. Now, during the course of the week, I may work on things that I've seen each of the teams do, but I won't let the team know what we're working on it for, just so that, you know, we're doing things without them really knowing it.
Matt Roberts, Fox 44. With this season going on, you all have been favorites in pretty much every single game. How have you been able to keep your team in that moment day by day and game by game?
Well, I don't know that we've been favorites in every game. I'd say people probably chose UConn. Who else have we played, y'all? Stanford. So I wouldn't say that we've been the favorite. We do recognize that we're one of the top teams when a season starts. We do realize that you're going to get everyone's best shot. We realize that, and we embrace that. That's why those players came to Baylor. But it doesn't mean that we prepare any differently. You push, you work, you know when to take off. It's just what we do. It's all we know how to do, and it's new to the freshmen. All this is new for the freshmen, so they're extremely excited. When they walk in and they see a new Coca-Cola machine in the locker room, man, look at that. When they come off the floor and they see their practice facility is now a big press room, they get excited about that, and they should.
Jessica Morey, Channel 6 Sports. You mentioned throughout this time off that you've had to use different motivational tactics for the team. What kind of motivational tactics have you used?
Well, I sing to them a lot. I make them understand. You know, we have a lot of kids that aren't from Texas. I wanted them to know where Abilene was. So I play the music, Abilene, Abilene. And then Sheryl Crow has a song about Abilene, doesn't she? Y'all don't know these things. I can tell by the look on your faces. And that disappoints me because I think y'all are well-rounded media people. Go listen to those songs, and then before we leave, tell me who sang the song. It could be an article I read in a newspaper about a totally different sport, and I bring it to the locker room. It could be showing old film from the 2005 championship team. It could be the 2012 team. It could be anything that just hits my mind. And a lot of times it hits my mind after I go to sleep and I wake up in the middle of the night and I just reach over here on a pad of paper and say, show the kids this tomorrow. Nothing planned. It's just what comes from the heart and the gut.
Micah Fleet, Channel 25 Sports. Coach, with as many young players as you have, do you have to find a way to keep them engaged, or is this team kind of self-sufficient in that way?
Not engaged. They have a very fun, unique, lively personality as a group. What you have to do is about the middle of February, you have to realize they're tired. And their high school seasons are just about to wrap up. They don't realize we're just about to head into postseason play. So that is something that you have to get them over the hump. But not anything other than that. I mean, they're an exciting group, and they, you know, they just come bubbly every day. Even on their lowest moments, they're bubbly.
Couple more questions. Coach Bruce Geeson with Baylor Radio. When you get, this is 1 and out time. Do you expect to see, is this a time of year where you see opposing coaches maybe try to surprise you or do something different?
Well, I don't know, unless we're going to play 3-on-3 half court. I don't know that we have been, there's nothing else we can see. I mean, there's not a new defense that can be invented. We've seen everything imaginable. What happens this time of year is maybe a Cinderella just has an unbelievable game. But it won't be because of something we have not prepared for or we haven't seen. You see Cinderella teams, and you see it more on the men's side. But we've seen it all.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. George Hamilton the fourth.
Thank you.
Hootenanny Hoot.
Thank you.
Okay, I had to look it up, but and
You
yes,
cheated.
Cheryl.
That's
Yes,
all
I
right.
did. Cheryl Crow did sing a song, Abilene. For this team to make a deep run, for this team to win a national championship, everybody knows about Kalani and Lauren. Is there an X factor that will get this team to win a national championship?
I think you should know about Kalani and Cox, but it takes more than them to win a national championship. I think you have to have defensive stoppers, which we do. I think you have to have role players, which we do. I think you have to have mid-range jump shooters, which we do. I think you have to have the three-point threat, which we do. I think everybody has a role to play surrounding those two great post players. And you've seen those post players sometimes not play well, and the perimeter players pick up the slack. You got to stay away from injury. You got to have a little bit of luck when it's a tight game, and you got to have a team that's just on a roll. Just a team that's on a roll offensively. That's what it takes to win a national championship.
Kim, Dee Brown told me, she tells Kalani, Moses, sometimes you got to lead your people to the promised land. Do you see that off the court as well as on the court?
Well, Kalani's personality is she's a sweet kid, and she leads differently than a lot of people. But she doesn't have to lead this team by herself, and I think she knows that. There are a lot of leaders in that locker room, either vocally, by their play on the floor, and I think that's kind of what makes this team a little special, is they don't try to be something they're not. They let each player lead, and everybody follows. And gosh, it's fun to watch. Sometimes you just have a locker room and you got what I call Debbie Downers in there, or selfish players. This team doesn't have it. And Kalani's mom, she's old school like I am. She's going to be harder on Kalani than I will. And she was a fun player to coach.
One final question.
David Smoke, ESPN Central Texas. You've played on and coached teams that were supposed to do things great or finish possibly with championships. What separates those who have accomplished it from those who may not know how to handle it?
I have, Smoke, but I've also coached teams that didn't finish it. Can I tell you there was something that team that finished it did and the ones that didn't finish it didn't do? No, because it was the same team. It was the same players. So I'll go back to answer it this way. Give credit to the opponent. Go back to that Cinderella comment. Sometimes teams just play out of their mind. And that's why it's such a fun time of the year, March Madness. I don't think it has anything to do with this one had a great leader or this one had a great player. Or the most talented teams don't always win championships. We've had that at Baylor. And then we've had the most talented teams win championships. It's just who gets on a roll and is playing well.
Matt Roberts, Fox 44. Kalani, with this team being a favorite in virtually every game you played, maybe except for a couple this year, how have y'all been able to stay in the moment each night and take care of what's right in front of you?
Just as you said, not looking ahead, not getting complacent with an opponent and not paying attention to rankings or the amount of talent they have on the team. We treat every team the same. We go out there and we execute, and we just take it one game at a time.
Micah Fleet, Channel 25 Sports. This one for Chloe. This is probably one of the reasons why you came to Baylor, to have a chance to go on a tournament run like this. Now that you're on the cusp of having that happen or getting the chance to make it happen, what's going through your head? What are you feeling?
It's a blessing to be here and playing on this stage with Baylor across my chest. But just staying in the moment, not looking too far ahead, like Lonnie said, but just realizing it's a blessing and just taking it just one game at a time.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider for Kalani, and then Lauren. You guys are almost kind of a given at this point. Everybody knows about you. How important is it for other players to play their part, to step up when maybe, you know, whether you're having an off night or people are just controlling you?
You know, there's been times where we have had an off night, and I think a lot of our guards have stepped up. Juicy, Didi, we take that and we learn from that as a team. So, I mean, I don't know. There's been times where we both had a bad night. So, I don't know. I think we just
and Chloe, you know.
And Chloe, sorry, Chloe.
I think it's big for them to step up like that because when we are on, it opens it up inside for us, and we're not getting doubled and triple teamed when they're hitting shots from the outside.
Chad Conine, Waco Tribune-Herald. Lauren, it's kind of like a broken record in terms of teams shooting threes against you guys. Here it comes again. You know, how much is the focus? Has the focus been more this year on guarding the perimeter and making sure teams just don't sit out there and bomb y'all from three-point range?
Yeah, coaches put an emphasis on that just because so many teams have done it, like you said. And I think we're going to continue to see that because, I mean, you got me and Kalani inside to start the game, and then you have Liz and Queen coming in who are both 6'2", 6'3". So a lot of teams don't want to bring it in the paint because we're going to send it right back out.
Matt Roberts, Fox 44. Chloe, you've actually played in the NCAA tournament here in Waco before. Have you allowed yourself to maybe reflect on just kind of the journey that you've traveled since then, coming back here, beginning this journey now?
Yeah, it's been a long journey, but think about it all the time. I was here 2 years ago, and the journey was cut short. So, just now being here, I want to go a long ways with Baylor. So.
Kalani, have you ever thought, now that this is it, you have a career in the possibly WNBA, wherever it might be, have you thought that this could be at any time over the next 2 or 3 weeks your last game in college?
Yes, it's crossed my mind a few times, actually, but I'm just trying to make sure that it isn't. That's the goal, so.
Kalani, how'd you celebrate your birthday yesterday?
We practiced. We sat at Chloe's house and watched our men upset.
Who did that?
Syracuse, yeah. So, go boys.
Oh my gosh.
Kalani, Coach Mulkey says she's been singing to you guys. She sang the Abilene songs. What are your thoughts on her singing skills?
They're great. Yeah, they're good. I'm not gonna say nothing negative about Coach. No, but she sings it over and over, so it does get a little.
She really knows the words.
She gets stuck on that one song, and it's just nonstop.
Yeah. Through the whole practice.
Whatever song it is.
Nope, doesn't matter.
Other questions? State your name and affiliation.
Micah Fleet, Channel 25 Sports. Lauren, this team known for its defensive ability. When you don't have as much time to scout as you get here in the tournament, what do you guys have to do differently, if anything?
I think you just go back on your basic defensive principles. I mean, help side, denying on the wing, ball pressure, that kind of thing. since we don't have a lot of time to kind of go through their plays and all that, you just go back to what you know and just play good team defense.
Yeah, we've got a Pac-12 team in here, and then we've got the ACC team. Do you guys recognize going in that different conferences have different styles of play and help you know what to expect coming in?
Take it away.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Pac-12 is different, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
We haven't really looked at either of those teams yet. I mean, we're just focusing on Abilene right now. I think Big 12 helps us out a lot because it's super physical. We play quick. So I think we're going to be prepared for anybody who we have to play.
Oh.
Any other questions?
I agree with LC. But I mean, the Big 12, we see different styles of play. So I think when it comes time to scouting them, whichever team we're going to have to play, we'll be prepared, ready to play them.